Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to my inferences. So the first thing that I did was I made a sheet which has, I think, 8 or 9 main points that I want to look at: USP, food, community engagement, staff customer service, packaging, delivery, pricing, cost for two, and vibe and the ambience. So these are the parameters that I want to judge each of my primary competitors. For example, I'm just going to do that for one. I know salad jar's USP is that salad's in a jar. Their food seems to be good. They have good reviews. They're only doing community engagement on Zomato. Staff's customer service, no negative mention, so I'll consider that positive. Packaging seems to be good. Delivery, mostly positive. And pricing, mixed reviews. And cost for 280 and vibe and ambience not applicable, obviously, because they are delivery only. So I've done this for all these ones. And I think what's interesting is I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on the delivery side of things. You can see 3 of them have mixed reviews and 1 is on negative side. So about 4 of them are not doing very well on the delivery service. And even the other ones, the ones who are doing good, also have a lot of negative reviews. Also, interesting thing that I wanted to point out was, although salad jar seems to be one of the cheapest, but even then, people have complained about pricing. Most of the complaints are on the lines of quantity, people cribbing about the quantity is less. That's the major trend in complaint, but also sometimes it's taste. You will see that Earth, which is the most highest, has positive feedback in terms of food. People have said it's value for money. So if you deliver good quantity and you deliver good taste, you can end up charging more, it seems like. So that's the quick top analysis. Now I'm going to talk about each of these points and just talk about the main inferences that I got from them. Well, and since most of these restaurants are not compromising on the food, also I noticed that salad seems to be a popular theme. So I might want to make sure that I steer clear from that zone. I can serve salad, but I don't want to position myself as another salad place because there are already 3 in the segment. So just a quick observation that I made. I already talked about the price, really delivering for the price, and the value for money is the most important thing. And I think quantity and taste are the 2 main factors that people evaluate price on. In terms of dine-in, I can say 2 out of 7 are good for dining in, but rest 5 are not. This could be a potential opportunity for me. I could be the third one. I could look at starting a place where you have a good vibe for dining in as well. Delivery. This is where most of the restaurants seem to be screwing up. And I see this as an opportunity because this could be my go-to marketing strategy. Out of the top of my head, I'm just coming up with this. I could launch with the campaign that you will get delivery in 30 minutes, or you get 50% off, or you get the meals on us totally, right? You could just like do a limited time, really buzzworthy campaign. I know that might not make you a lot of money, but the fact that you position yourself as, I know people are not really living up to the promise when it comes to delivery. I'm here to live up to the promise. So when you call me, you can expect delivery in time within 30 minutes. In terms of community engagement, most of the restaurants are only active on Zomato. Even the one that I really like, Earth, they're also only active on Zomato. But I really like the way these guys do community engagement. They write personalized messages to each review. And I have also seen the owners of Earth writing back to the people who have left reviews. And I think that builds a great relationship between customer and the restaurant. I would like to make a note of this as a learning opportunity because I want to go back to Zomato and look at all the replies that Earth has given. And I want to understand how they're using empathy to reply back to the customers and how they're turning the situations around. I think this is something really interesting, and you could share it with your community manager. In terms of website, I noticed that most of the websites are glitchy when it comes to online ordering. They do a good job at branding. They do a good job at branding front, but online ordering is just not there. Also, RightBite seems to be doing interesting content. They have a blog section, a learning opportunity. I want to make a note of it and go to RightBite's website and look at what kind of content are they doing and use that in my content strategy. In terms of paid ads, I want to show you the popular themes that I've analyzed. People are running brand awareness ads. They're running ads that are talking about delivering to a particular area. I'm sure that these are area-based focused ads. Customized meal plans, people are promoting that. Healthy and tasty food, just generic healthy and tasty food promotion. Like, because you're in a healthy zone, you could also run an ad which could be about, hey, you want to reach your goal, let us help you out, and we can give you a free trial and things of that nature. Promoting fresh ingredients is again important. People want to talk about fresh ingredient. People want to focus on the quality of food. Vegan food specialization, I see vegan ads also out there, so people are focusing on vegan. Listen, these are the ads I've seen, but it's also important to make sure that we keep a track of what kind of ads are these guys running, because that really tells us who is focusing on what at what point in time. Now comes the most important part, which is the USP gap analysis. I saw the kind of USPs that my competitors have. They mostly focus on the functional aspect of what they're offering. They have very feel good, eat good, live good sort of zone going on, vibe going on. So I wanted to break away from that. And I thought, why don't I do something which is slightly more bolder and more fun? That's something that resonates with my audience. Also, another thing that I noticed that nobody's really talking about greens as the topic. So I was like, okay, green is fresh. Green is something that I can probably use. It's a different tangent. And plus, I can add my fun angle to this, and like green and something that's green, fresh, and healthy, and something that's fun as well. So I clubbed both of this and came up with this positioning, hey, eat your greens. That works as a great message. Also, that could be a great, interesting brand name, and nobody's really talking about it. Plus, eat your greens, your mama always said so, is such a popular quote that it's just ingrained in everybody's head that green is healthy. So all I have to do is make sure that my brand is not boring, because green can be really boring. So I want to stay away from that. That's why I said, okay, let me make it so much more fun that people don't associate this with boring food. So I decided eat your greens as my position, because I know nobody's really in that zone. People are in salad zone. People are in a little healthy, oh, I will get you the result. You eat good and you feel good sort of angle, but nobody's really saying, hey, eat your greens because you know it's good. As simple as that. And this gives me an opportunity to come up with really interesting, quirky campaigns, which I'm going to talk about in the future. Now I'm going to take a couple of quick minutes to build the characteristic of my brand. For this, I'm going to use secondary competitors research that I've done. So let's go through it one by one. There are a lot of other points that I've mentioned in my blog, but these are only the important ones that I want to pick to build my characteristic. The first thing that I'm going to discuss in this is food. People love the fact that you show calorie count for dishes, and people like the fact that you have gluten-free options. People hate it when you claim that you're vegan but send egg or cheese in your food, right? So, and I've seen a lot of reviews like that. So just not done from food perspective. You have to own what you claim. In terms of vibe, I want to have pet-friendly restaurant, and I think that my restaurant should resemble that. When I have such a fun positioning, I should be allowing people to bring in their pets and have fun with that as well. Open kitchen seems like a good deal for me. People like the fact that there's open kitchen, and all these are like reviews that I've got, and I've picked up these important points from those reviews. What people hate in terms of customer service is the knowledge. A lot of times when people ask, you have calorie counts in your menu, what is your process, how did you get this, or when you say vegan, what do you mean by that? And when the staff is not educated, that is so detrimental for a brand. So I would really recommend, don't let that happen. Educate staff. So I want to make sure that I take that thing and I want to talk about how we educate our staff. In terms of delivery, I can see people love it when you have good packaging. So one of the examples that I saw was Switch. Switch has some really interesting, vibrant silver color packaging, and people have appreciated that a lot on reviews. In terms of community engagement, I see most of the brands are doing community engagement on Zomato and on other places, but I want to make sure that as a restaurant, I will have community engagement for my restaurant on all the platforms. So I want to make sure that's my prime priority on all the platforms. And that's why I would want to use a social listening tool. And we will discuss that in social strategies as we go forward. In terms of digital ideas, I like the fact that some of the restaurants have used a booking widget. When people search for you and people find you on Google, they can book a table or they can order from Google itself. You can check out Easy Diner. I have not personally checked that out, but I found Easy Diner has booking widget that works here in this region. Some restaurants offer newsletters as a communication. Now, I don't know how many people want to see newsletters, but I do have some strategies for Messenger, which I'm going to talk about in the future. But yeah, so some people do that. I still think that's a good idea to give people options if you want to get newsletters and testimonials. I don't see too many people using testimonials. Very few people are, but I think testimonials can be a great route for these brands, especially if you're in the health and fitness zone. All right, so what do we do with all this information that we have gathered? We can use it in our positioning, in our business strategies, in our campaign strategies. So here's some just top level ideas that I've written down. So the first thing is calorie count. People like the fact that you have calorie count, and I think we should, if we are putting calorie count, we should go all in, all chips in with that and talk about what is our process, what do we do, who is the nutritionist, how do we get all these information. Just talking about how quality is such an important thing, and that's why we make sure that we put the calorie count so that we give you not only highly calculated calories in each meal, but we also give you extremely good quality in each meal. The second thing that I found interesting was staff education. I think it's so important to have weekly training sessions for your staff. Could be internal, could be external, depends on the kind of setup you have. But really have weekly training sessions and use it to create content around it. Just showcase the fact that how we train our staff on a weekly basis, whether that's on the menu, whether that's on the knowledge, whether that's Italian, Thai, whatever food you're in, just really showing you train your staff. You know that. Show it off. It's an interesting content. The other thing that people liked was open kitchen, and this is more on a not on a campaign, but also on a business decision. I think this could be interesting to have open kitchen because people like authenticity, and that goes out to say, hey, we're authentic, we're nothing to hide. So that's really interesting. Again, the fact that you don't want to meddle around with your claims, so you want to own what you claim. So if you're claiming vegan, if you're claiming whatever vegetarian, then just live up to it. Don't like, I want to make sure that if I claim vegan, we know, all my staff knows. Again, comes back to the education side of things. Then another good to do thing would be responding to all my customer reviews within 48 hours, and I want to make sure that we are actively engaged with our customer and keep them coming back. So I see delivery as a big issue, and I have a couple of ideas on delivery. And one of the idea is we calling ourselves a fun brand, right? So why don't we do something fun where we send surprise goodies, healthy goodies to people just out of nowhere, just out of goodwill, because we say eat your greens because your mama said so. We have that vibe going on. So as a mother would do, I would also want to send some few goodies to people every once in a while so that they get delighted, and that just adds on to better delivery experiences. Also, another thing that people get really peeved off with is people not answering restaurant phones, and that's why they like to order from Zomato because they know that they get at least good customer service. The restaurants don't offer good customer service, so I want to make sure that at least, I mean, this could be a good buzzworthy campaign where I say, if you called us and we didn't answer your call, you get 10% off on each missed call, right? I mean, I know this is not the most profitable campaign, but I know this will create a lot of buzz, and you will be able to, if you own this, and you'll be able to position yourself as, we care about you. You call us, we answer you within a couple of 1, 2, 3 rings, right? So that's a great proposition in terms of customer service to be pushing out on. Then I also noticed people like the fact that restaurants have gluten-free food, so I would want to timely promote gluten-free food. I just don't want to say vegan, this, that. I want to also talk about other different this could be a great campaign idea for me. Again, pet-friendly, people like the fact that, hey, the restaurant around pet. So I would want to create events or some campaigns where I can offer some discount or encourage people to come in and build a community for vegetarians or vegans who like pets. So I think that could be an interesting site. And if I'm thinking of starting a restaurant which has a dine-in session, then this works really great. These are all the top level ideas that came to my head after doing my research. And I know all these ideas are really, really specific because they all are based out of customer pain points that I have identified during the review session or during my research session. So I know chances of them working is so high. So that's why I would recommend do this research, put it all together. You can find all of this on my blog, which is anuragshuklaji.com, and you can look at this in a much more in-depth manner. Now, what I will do is from here on, I want to see this is the brand positioning, this is the brand avatar I'm trying to build. I showed you some characteristics of my brand in these ideas. Now, I want to see whether this relates with the user persona characteristics. So, in the next session, in the next few episodes, I'm going to talk about user persona. How can you use data to create your user persona from the data that you have right now, and how to create a customer persona and understand whether your brand persona speaks correctly or speaks to the pain points of customer or not. And if not, then how can you identify and those pain points and use them in your communication and in your business. So that's pretty much it on the customer research. I hope I have explained the A to Z process of mine to do the customer research. And I started with I want to start a vegetarian brand, healthy brand, to a vegan restaurant, which is called Eat Your Greens, not vegan and vegetarian both. So this has been a bit of a exploration journey for myself. Hope you found this interesting. Let me know your comments on the feedback. I would love to hear from you. And if you have any points or anything that you think that I can add on to, please help me. I would definitely ring it in, and I will give you a shout out on that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and effort if you stuck around till now. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next episode where I talk about user persona and digital strategies. I'll be putting out very soon. Thank you very much.